Hey, it's Cody. I'm here to talk about deck boxes. Now, the boxes that tarot decks and oracle decks come in, um, really, you don't have to keep them in there if you have a way to make a different sort of, you know, case or something for it, or you can buy them. Um, Ultimately, I feel like it would be best if the boxes were just reasonable enough that you could keep them in. So I have gone through my decks and I've picked out some boxes that I thought I would talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is what to me is the superior deck box design. So I have quite a few decks like this. This is the mass market version of the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. This one is a two-piece box. It's hard. It has a thumb hole. The cards fit in there as well as the guidebook. I think this is perfect. The lid stays on, like sort of like suctions on there well enough to be flung in a bag or a purse or a drawer. The cards fit in there nice. It's literally just room for what is there. You've got your guidebook with it. I think this is the ultimate storage thing for this. This is my very favorite. My next favorite would be the example here is the Lucid Dreams Beginner's Tarot. This magnetic sort of closure like this. Cards are in here. One thing that I think could be a little bit better about this deck is just the fact that the guidebook, there is a guidebook, but it is just that much bigger than the box. I think this would have been, I would have liked this better personally if the guidebook had just been a little bit smaller to fit in there. However, I will say I don't mind giving this one a pass on that, just because I know that this was independently produced, and sometimes you're sort of at the mercy of what sizes your printer is willing to print things, right? So still, I do like this. Now here comes one that is simply inexcusable to me. This is the Midnight Magic. This is a mass market deck and is by, well, I don't know what is up with my camera here. Simon and Schuster. Okay, so first of all, you might think that I would like this because it's the hard two-piece box. It's got the thumb hole. However, okay, here's the cards. This is the opposite of classy. This is some fucking cardboard. Like, this is some kind of shit I would pull if I were doing, like, a project, like, just for myself, and I'd been working on it for days, and just one little thing isn't working out. I'd be like, fuck it, put that in there, okay? And then the guidebook actually fits properly in there. Why? Pray tell. Could an actual publishing company not decide to make the cards and the guidebook the same size? Like, that... Like, the way this is, I couldn't take this someplace and use it for readings, because if I bust out a box and I pull the cards out and there's just, like, fucking folded cardboard in there, like, what does that make me look like, right? Like, I'm trying to look classy, okay? Like, this is no. Absolute no thank you. Okay, so, speaking of cardboard being fit into boxes to make the shit fit. This is the mass market edition of the Citadel Fantasy Oracle by Fez Inc., right? This is... Oh, what am I doing? Even looking. This is Liminal 11. I think this is one of the most irritating box designs that I've run into, and the worst thing is that it keeps being repeated. So if you don't have any decks, buy this publishing company. So a magnetic closure on the bottom. It opens. And then you take a whole second box out of the first one. which is just, it's wasteful, it's ridiculous. Like, opening these decks feels like a chore. Now, I don't mean anything specific to the Citadel Oracle, because there's Seed and Sickle Oracle, there's the New Chapter Tarot. All, I think, of Liminal 11's decks have been packaged this way, and I don't understand, like, who is enjoying this? So, that's not even all. We have cards fit in there. We have the guidebook that fits in there. Oh shit, this isn't even one of them. Okay, fuck, I should have grabbed the other one. I think the only other Liminal 11 decks that I have, well, I know I still have Seed and Sickle, and I think I have the New Chapter Tarot. Both of them have a little piece of cardboard that fits in, that the guidebook goes in, and then, get this right here. The guidebook goes in, and then the cardboard fits in and down like an L, going like that, so that the cards can fit. Now, at least they don't have that in this one. But still, like, what in the additional fuckery is this? Like, why would I have this? And then on top of that, like, why isn't there just a little closey flap on this? I guess I was under the impression that we're trying to limit, like, waste, or like, I don't know, man, it's just, it's a fucking waste, okay? I'm sorry. Now, this box kind of reminds me of that. This is the Untamed Spirit Animal Oracle. This is by Red Wheel. So, nice hard box, until you realize it's like one of those drawer ones. So you pull out your drawer. We've got our guidebook, but also we've got a tuck box for just the cards. Why? Oh my god, FedEx goes by 15 times a day and my dog barks every single time. And I'm sorry. Like, okay, what was the purpose of all of this if they were just gonna do a tuck box too? Like, this even would have fit. The guidebook would have fit inside the tuck box because it's the same size as the cards. So how come? It's like that. Like, I feel like sometimes these publishing companies try to do something fancy, but it's just annoying. It's just irritating. Like, literally, the Liminal 11 shit, having to open it and pull out a box and, like, then get out the cards, and then even putting them away, having to make sure your little cardboard, like, scaffolding or whatever the fuck is in there, it actually makes me not reach for those decks, which is sad. Like, I need to crochet a bag for them, because it's really not fair to the decks or the decks creators. It's just the publishing company's absolutely ridiculous decisions. Okay, now I want to talk about yeah, we'll go for this one first. All right, let's talk about these big ass boxes. Okay, these are by Llewellyn. They have come out with a lot of decks in these sorts of boxes. Now, the only good thing I think about these is my camera's too close here, but they look nice. They're identical on, like, a bookshelf if you've got space for that kind of shit. However, I don't think every deck that Llewellyn comes out with requires this kind of box. And I'll tell you, okay, let me first show you. Okay, here's Tarot of Vampires by Ian Daniels. All right, so magnetic closure, right? These are, like, hard. Big ass guidebook. Okay, this is like an indentation for the cards. Now, some of these, I don't have any, I don't think, at this point. But I have gotten decks that have this big box like this, and when the cards go in, this is like folded cardboard right here, but sometimes it's just sat down on there, and cards get stuck, like, up under here, and that really fucking pisses me off. But, okay, that's kind of beside the point. Okay, now we're gonna pull out the Witch's Garden, which has its cards in here. Okay. The guidebook for Tarot of the Vampires looks like this inside. We have solid information. And this guidebook is well known throughout the tarot community as being very thorough, very just comprehensive. Okay, but the Secrets of the Witch's Garden guidebook is this. Now, I know that there are people who appreciate the larger card photos in here, but I have to say, this amount of information does not warrant this big of a guidebook. Literally, they could have made one of these smaller boxes and put the cards and the guidebook this size in there. There was no reason, like, this is excessive. This is ultimately excessive. And it's just such a, I don't know, man. I don't know. The big boxes, when they're unnecessary, bother me. Does that make sense? So this did not need to be this huge honkin' ass box. This, yeah, I'm fine with that. Just because I have almost 300 pages of, like, information. Deck-specific information. This book, being this size and requiring a box like this, does not bother me because it was necessary. Okay, now I want to talk for a minute. Speaking of unnecessary bullshit. This is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck by Kim Krans. Now, this actually, when I bought it, came with like a sleeve that this whole box slid into. That said, like, it was kind of this type of shit on it. Okay. So I did throw that part away. Alright, we've got, not very strong magnetic closure here. Okay. We've got our guidebook. And then, so I've opened this, and now there's also, like, a round box that I additionally have to open for the cards. So, that's just, I don't need all, like, the ribbons. The ribbon is nice, but, like, I just, it's so much. I don't get it, okay? I don't understand it. Now, you might say, well, it's because round cards are difficult to package. Well, I have two other examples of boxes for round decks that are not that difficult. This one, please excuse. This is the box for the Accurate as Fuck Tarot by Prism and Floor. This got damaged shipping to me, and also, hilariously, I left this box open. Okay, if I were to actually put this on right now, there are no thumb holes. This goes completely down, and it's a real pain in the ass to open, which I will say, holy shit. But, I was using this deck and I had left this open, and there are kitty teeth marks in the foam, so we're gonna pretend like that's not there. This is how they dealt with the round card situation. The deck just fits right in there with a little foam. It's not, there's no ridiculousness. It's just, it holds the card snug. Even less involved is the Mother Peace Tarot. This is literally a box. And the cards are just the right size to sit in there with just little space at the corners. There was no need for all the shit that the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck has attached to it. Like, I don't want to have to spend 5 minutes unwrapping a deck so I can use the thing. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, I have a couple more. And then, just some absolutely batshit ones. These ones are... No, I'll tell you in a minute. Okay. I want to take a second to talk about tins. I think everyone likes a good deck in a tin, especially if it's like a mini version, right? So, I hate picking on this, but also I hate that it's like this. This is the mini Gentle Tarot Pocket Edition by Mari in the Sky. Now, I also have the full-size edition. I bought this mini one because I wanted to be able to just throw it in my purse and carry it. The problem is, the way it opens is like this. And what happens is if I throw this in my purse or bag, this ends up working its way down and I end up with cards all over in my purse, which, like, this deck was too expensive for me to just let these cards get fucking wrecked in my purse. And sometimes it feels like there's an attempt for fanciness, but ultimately it just ends up backfiring and being annoying. This is what I want out of a 10. There you go. Like, that's... Okay, even better is this one's guidebook. Well, no, this one's guidebook did fit in there too. Okay, so I'm giving it that. But this is even better. But even if it didn't have a guidebook, if it was just... Oh. Even if it was just cards, I want it like this. I want that to, you know, be solid on there so that I feel like my cards are secure. Because this is not secure. And honestly, like, the reason that I bought it, I don't get to use it for now. Which is not really my favorite thing. Okay, I'm going to admit something to you here. This is second to last part here. I don't mind a good tuck box. I really just don't. Okay, here is, check this thing out. I've had this for, you know what? Actually, I meant to look up the year that The Labyrinth Tarot by Luis Royo came out. I don't know, but it's been at least 10 years. And it's just a tuck box. That's it. Do you know why it looks like this? Is because it went in my purse with me for like 3 years straight. It's fine. It's missing one little flappy. That's okay, because you know what it does is it holds the damn cards. Okay? I appreciate a good tuck box. Like, some of them are flimsier than others. I mean, this one I think is just pretty much, what, par for the course, or whatever the fuck they call it. That's okay. It doesn't bother me. I did that to this. It's not like the box failed. The only thing that I kind of don't like about this box is where this part is folded in. This part goes up. And sometimes is in the way of cards getting pushed all the way down. Like, if I just stuck the deck in there, there'd be a couple cards that flap is in the way of. So, I make sure that doesn't happen. So I put the guidebook in first. Like, this thing has survived. Sorry. This thing has survived horrors. Okay. I will say this is the Witchfolk Tarot. Now, this one is a tuck box. This one has not been in my purse. And I have not had it nearly as long as the other one. I will say the way they have the bottom done on this, it kind of folds in a way that makes it so it doesn't have that flap sticking up, which I actually like even better. It's got its little guidebook. And I don't mind these. Like, some people are like, ew, a tuck box. No, I'm glad to see tuck boxes. They're manageable. They're the kind of thing that can go in on a shelf, in a drawer, in a bag, without ridiculousness. Does that make sense? Okay, now here come some of the worst, I think, card box designs. The first one I'm going to pick on is these Rebecca Campbell decks. Okay, this is the Rose Oracle, but whatever the other ones are, I can't even think of them right now. They're all like this too. And they do that. Now, it's someplace in a guidebook, I colored these edges, said some shit about doing this. And your card can just fit in there like that. That's weird, and I'm pretty sure 0 people do that. So what this ends up being is a card box that doesn't stay shut. Like, this will sit on there. I mean, if it was stacked with things, but like if it was in a drawer, it just does that as soon as the cards like move up. I can't even like grab it from the top because it just comes right off. Like, this is an irritating box design. No thanks. All right, here's one. This one kills me. This are the Soul cards. Soul cards one, but I'm pretty sure the second one's like that too. Like this too. This one is like this. Okay, now the issue is this is tuck box worthy material, okay? It's not really good for this type of box. Like, I don't know why this decision would have been made, because then, like, you can't just slide them in there because you've got these little flaps that are glued down that I'm terrified of ripping. So you have to very sweetly place that in first. And the cards kind of don't want to fit, like, in here. It's a real pain in the ass, this box. And, like, who approved this? This is... Okay, maybe this is, like, independently published? I don't know. No thanks. Okay. Here, well, let me show you this one that I dislike. It's the box of the Mystical Dream Tarot. This is, by... Who the hell is it by? Edison Books Limited? Okay. This one is a drawer. Okay. And I think everyone can agree that separating the deck into two is fucking irritating. Nobody likes that. Nobody's like, hell yeah, I get to try and, like, separate my deck in half. And then the worst part of this is, like, decks just sort of warp. And if it's been stored like this for a while, these two stacks will not have warped the same. And then your card deck, when it's stacked up, doesn't sit nicely. It shuffles weird. Like, no. Okay. These two are in the running for the absolute worst box designs. Okay. Here we have the Sacred Hag's Oracle, and this is New World Library. Okay. First of all, as you can see, it does this. Check this out. Okay. There is no magnetic closure or anything. This would make more sense if it had a flap and magnets along here, but it doesn't. It literally just, there you go. It's also into two stacks. This is just so, like, this is hard cardboard. Why wouldn't they have just used this to make a reasonable deck box? This is not secure for the deck. It's not, like, this is not ideal for literally anything, and I will never understand. Like, why? I have so many questions. Like, why is this part open? For what? Awful. Awful. Okay, but I think that every single person can agree the absolute worst box design is this. Now, this actually is not the worst offender. I've had others, and I've gotten rid of them. I don't even know if it had to do with the box. But ones where the deck literally just bangs around in there. Why? Once again, though, I am going to pick on and say this guidebook, I feel like, could have just been shrunk down. It could have been a little bit thicker. To be the size of the cards. Like, it's not that dramatically different, I don't think. That they could not have made them the same size so that the box fit everything. It's just the worst. So anyway, yeah, basically, I was opening the deck and I was like, this box is terrible. And then I was like, you know what? I have a lot of terrible boxes. And it just made me think about maybe I would talk about shitty boxes on here. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.